Hello and a very warm welcome. I am Gushin Galit and you're watching Firstpost. In the next few minutes, I get you the top 40 updates from around the world, only here on Fast and Factual. Let's get started. In badminton, Frenchman Alex Lanier won the men's single title at Orleans Masters. The 20-year-old fought off a second-game comeback by second seed Lin Chu-yi. We begin in West Asia. Israel has cut off electricity supply in Gaza. The move aims to pressure Hamas into releasing the remaining Israeli hostages. Hamas slammed the decision, calling it blackmail. Israel's action comes as both the sides prepare for fresh truce talks over Gaza ceasefire. The first phase of the ceasefire ended on March 1. According to a war monitor, over 1,000 people have been reportedly killed in Syria. Violent clashes erupted between fighters loyal to deposed leader Bashar al-Assad and government forces. Pro-Assad gunmen attacked government checkpoints in Latakia province. This sparked an intense retaliation from Syrian security forces. It led to mass killings, including the execution of 745 Alawites, a Shia Muslim sect that backed Assad's rule. Saudi Arabia is set to host peace talks over the Russia-Ukraine war. US and Ukrainian officials will hold discussions on resolving the conflict. The high-stakes meeting will take place in Saudi Arabia's Jeddah. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky too will be visiting the Gulf Kingdom. He will be in Riyadh, where it is due to meet Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Moving to the war in Europe, tech billionaire Elon Musk has issued a stark warning for Ukraine in a social media post. He says Ukraine's front line would collapse without access to Starlink, a satellite internet service which his company SpaceX provides. Musk also criticized Ukrainian President Zelensky and said Ukraine would inevitably lose against Russia. The U.S. Secret Service has shot an armed man near the White House. Authorities say a confrontation ensued when the individual pulled out a gun. Trump wasn't in the White House when the incident happened. The man was hospitalized after being neutralized. The U.S. Secret Service has said none of their personnel were harmed. A small plane crashed in a retirement home and parking lot in Pennsylvania. All 5 people aboard the plane survived but were hospitalized. The crash caused a fire, damaging several cars around. The Federal Aviation Administration has said it will investigate the crash. Mark Carney will be the next Prime Minister of Canada. The ruling Liberal Party voted him to victory, making him the successor of Justin Trudeau. Carney takes charge as his country continues to be embroiled in tensions with the US. In his victory speech, Carney promised to win the trade war against Trump. In Romania, far-right candidate Călin Georgescu has been barred from contesting the presidential elections. He has slammed this decision as a direct blow to democracy. The move has triggered clashes between supporters and police authorities. Georgescu had previously won the first-round vote, which was in November. It was declared invalid due to allegations of Russian interference. North Korea has unveiled its first nuclear-powered submarine. The country's leader Kim Jong-un inspected the vessel capable of firing nuclear missiles. This is part of his ambitions of modernizing North Korea's navy. Experts say North Korea received Russian assistance for the weapon system. Hundreds of people in Bangladesh are demanding justice for an 8-year-old girl. She was allegedly raped by a family acquaintance. As the news went viral, hordes of people came out to rally in capital Dhaka. Protesters, mostly women, chanted slogans against sexual violence. In climate news, a devastating wildfire that raged for nearly 2 weeks in northern Japan has finally been brought under control. The fire, which erupted in the mountainous regions around the city on February 26, scorched approximately 7,000 acres and destroyed at least 210 buildings and forced over 4,200 residents to flee. 4 wildfires broke out near New York's Hamptons. The fire prompted New York governor to declare a state of emergency. As dark smoke blanketed the sky over West Hampton, authorities urged residents in nearby areas to be prepared for possible evacuations. Firefighters are battling the blazes as local officials assess the extent of the damage. Tropical cyclone turned storm Alfred has wreaked havoc in Queensland, Australia. It has knocked out power for over 300,000 residents. Gold Coast was among the hardest hit areas, while Brisbane narrowly avoided the worst. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese warned of continued risks, including flash flood and high winds as the storm moves inland. Devastating floods swept through Bahia Blanca, a key port city in Argentina. The floods left at least 16 people dead and caused widespread destruction. Torrential rainfall, more than 10 inches in just few hours, overwhelmed the city's infrastructure. It washed away bridges, collapsed roads and forced evacuations. Authorities have warned that the death toll may rise as search and rescue efforts continue. Massive layoffs at the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration have sparked concerns that critical climate research and disaster forecasting could be severely compromised. One engineer warned that layoffs would slow down the repair of malfunctioning satellites, delaying storm warnings and potentially putting lives at risk. Critics argue that these drastic budget reductions undermine the country's ability to monitor climate change. On to business and tech news now. Apple has said that some artificial intelligence improvements to its voice assistant Siri will be delayed until 2026. The tech giant said that it has been working to make Siri more personalized. However, delivering these features is taking longer than expected. Apple earlier indicated that it will roll out these features this year. The US Justice Department has dropped its proposal to force tech giant Google to sell its investments in AI companies. The move was earlier petited as the agency's bid to boost online search competition. However, the agency still seeks a court order directing Google to sell its Chrome browser to end its search monopoly. President Donald Trump has said his administration is in talks with 4 groups to sell TikTok. The Chinese-owned app's future has been uncertain since the US law came into effect in January, which requires its owner ByteDance to sell it or face a ban. Trump signed an executive order to delay the ban. President Trump has also said that the duties on Canadian and Mexican imports could go up. The previously announced 25% tariffs are set to come into effect on April 2. Trump has also refused to rule out recession in the US following the increased duties. Oil prices plunged over concerns of US tariff impact on demand for fuel and global economic growth. Brent crude fell by 0.4% to $70.05 a barrel, while US West Texas Intermediate crude stood at $66.69 per barrel after a 0.5% plunge. Bitcoin plunged by around 5.47% yesterday. The world's largest cryptocurrency stood at $81,555, while Ether was down by 5.4% and stood a little over $2,024. Robinhood Markets has agreed to pay over $21 million to resolve Financial Industry Regulator Authority investigations. The agency was probing the online trading platform's supervision and compliance practices. The company will pay $26 million in fine and $3.74 million to restitution to customers. Japan's 7&I Holdings said it was in talks with Canada's Alimentación Couche-Tard for a $47 billion takeover bid. This comes after the company named Stephen Darkus as its new CEO last week to respond to the offer. The two companies that are top players in US convenience store market fear barriers by countries' antitrust laws. Brazilian state-run oil firm Petrobras is set to settle a US court dispute with EIG Energy Fund 14 after its board's approval. The settlement includes a $283 million payment by the Brazilian company. Petrobras said that the contingency amount is provisioned in its earnings. Hims & Hers Health is set to shut down its personalized acne treatment dermatology business, The move is aimed at simplifying operations. The American telehealth company acquired Apostrophe in 2021. Moving to sports, we start with cricket. India beat New Zealand by 4 wickets to lift Champions Trophy for a historic third time. Batting first in Dubai, New Zealand were restricted at 251 runs with Varun Chakravarti and Kuldeep Yadav's 2-wicket hauls. Ravindra Jadeja bowled 10 overs by giving away just 30 runs, powered by captain Rohit Sharma's 76, Shreyas Iyer's 48 and KL Rahul's 34-run knocks. India chased down the total with 1 over remaining. Rohit Sharma was awarded player of the match, while New Zealand's Rachin Ravindra was named player of the tournament. After leading India to win Champions Trophy, captain Rohit Sharma said he is not retiring from one-day international format. The 37-year-old cautioned fans and media from believing in the retirement rumours. Sharma is now one of India's most successful ODI captains. In football, Chelsea beat Leicester City 1-0 in Premier League after a goalless first half. Chelsea's Marc Cucurella hit the back of the net in the 60th minute. With this win, Chelsea have strengthened themselves at the 4th spot in the league standings. Liverpool, Arsenal and Nottingham Forest remain top 3 Premier League teams. Former world number 1 Novak Djokovic crashed out of the India Wells Masters in his opening match. The Serb lost 2-6, 6-3, 1-6 to an unseeded player. Djokovic has failed to win a trophy this year. In badminton, Frenchman Alex Lanier won the men's single title at Orleans Masters. The 20-year-old fought off a second-game comeback by second seed Lin Chu-yi, 21-13, 21-18 to lift the title. This is Lanier's first Super 300 title, making it a major career milestone for the youngster. And finally, to the world of showbiz, Hollywood legend Gene Hackman passed away from heart disease. This is just a week after his wife succumbed to hantavirus pulmonary syndrome at their home in New Mexico. Authorities confirmed that Hackman was in an advanced stage of Alzheimer's disease and is likely unaware of his wife's passing before his own death. New Mexico's chief medical examiner stated that Hackman had severe heart disease and was in poor health. Amanda Seyfried shared behind-the-scenes mishap from the 2023 Critics' Choice Awards, revealing that Glenn Powell came to her rescue when her dress started falling apart. The real disaster struck later inside the venue when Seyfried was mid-conversation with Powell. As the fabric gave way completely, he quickly stepped in to help, preventing what could have been a major fashion mishap. Bong Joon-ho's sci-fi film Mickey 17 debuted at the 17th top of the North American box office with $19.1 million. But its financial outlook remains uncertain due to its high production cost of $118 million. The dystopian thriller featuring multiple versions of Robert Pattinson also required an additional $80 million for marketing, bringing its total investment close to $200 million. Acclaimed actress Janet McTeer is reportedly in discussions with Warner Bros. To take on the role for Professor Minerva McGonagall in the upcoming Harry Potter reboot series. The highly anticipated series, announced in 2023, aims to be a faithful adaptation of J.K. Rowling's 7-book saga. Each season of the show will cover one novel. The first season, expected in 2026, will introduce audiences to an 11-year-old Harry Potter. HBO has unveiled the highly anticipated trailer of The Last of Us Season 2. It offers a glimpse into escalating dangers in its post-apocalyptic world. The new season will delve deeper into the emotional and physical transformations of the remaining survivors. The trailer introduces new characters and different types of infected creatures, increasing the stakes for the protagonists. Carla Sofia Gascon has spoken out about the emotional toll of a recent controversy surrounding her resurfaced tweets. The star revealed that the intense public scrutiny led her to experience overwhelming emotional distress. Gascon claimed that fake accounts had been created in her name to spread misinformation. The tweets were related to negative comments toward people of color, Muslims, and diversity at the Oscars. Marvel's Thunderbolts may have a unique tone unlike other MCU films. This is according to Florence Pugh. She described the film as having an indie vibe. Director of the film confirmed that the film was crafted to feel different from standard superhero fare, incorporating darker emotional elements without sacrificing humor. The film follows a group of unconventional anti-heroes on a government mission. Lady Gaga brought her signature theatrical flair to Saturday Night Live. She served as both host and musical guest just a day after the release of her 7th studio album, Mayhem. The 38-year-old pop icon kicked off the episode with a comedic monologue referencing her role in Joker and reflecting on her 2013 SNL debut. She then performed 2 tracks from her new album, turning Studio 8H into a spectacle. Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, has announced the return of his Sunday service choir events. It is set to resume on March 16. However, just hours after the announcement, the rapper stirred controversy by posting a photo of a white robe resembling those worn by controversial Ku Klux Klan. The post comes amid ongoing backlash over Ye's recent inflammatory comments. And finally, Ariana Grande has teased a potential deluxe edition of her Eternal Sunshine album. She shared a cryptic video on social media. Grande included a pre-save link directing fans to streaming platforms, but has yet to confirm a release date. While walking the Oscars red carpet, the singer remained tight-lipped about the project. That's all for today. Thank you for joining us. I am Gusheen Garland and we'll see you right back here tomorrow. Stay informed and stay tuned to Firstpost.